We have a lot to go through tonight. Take a seat and we'll get started. I suppose you don't remember me. Oh, we have met before, but people tend to forget in waking hours. This is the Emotional Baggage Claim Counter, part of the Office of Subconscious Affairs. We are the bureaucracy of the collective unconscious. If you want any sort of rest tonight, you'll have to pass through this office first. Oh, many dreamers slip right through, night after night, but not you. Not this time. We cannot let you through so easily anymore. Your emotional baggage has become a problem. You've left it unattended, with us, for too long. At this point you are technically non-compliant with regulation subconscious protocols. I'm here to help you sort through it all, or at least get started. I do suspect you need several appointments to get your luggage sorted out. These files are your client emotional history ledger, the condensed version. It's absurdly thick. Let's see. Personal tabs include romantic regrets, childhood slights, and weird feelings about success. Those are in addition to the regular inserts containing guilt, shame, grudges, trauma, avoidance, and so on. There are various post-its spread throughout your files. Sloppy work. Like, right here. Follow up on unresolved sibling tension. Ooh, this one. Check back in 3 to 5 business dreams. Oh, that's not right. Nobody followed up on this. No wonder you can't sleep well. What I need from you right now is a bit of patience. It is paramount that you do not hold anything back from me. Oh, we will find out if you do. You might hide things from yourself, but not from us. If you don't cooperate, you'll wake up as tired as you were when you went to bed. And we don't want that, do we? You've had enough nights like that, according to your ledger.
Flight 217 to closure has been delayed indefinitely.
We cannot deprive you of sleep, but we can deprive you of rest. If your carry weight is too high, which it is. See this? This is your emotional baggage weight chart. You fall into the heavy but denies it category. There's also a repression resistance calculator. Here, it determines how hard your subconscious has to work to keep things buried. Takes a lot of energy, you know. According to your EMW, you have passed through here 156 times in the last year without claiming any substantial amount of the emotional baggage that you have previously stored with us. Quite the contrary, you've checked in even more luggage and left it, which is supposed to be a short-term solution. It amounts to an overweight issue of about 3 times that much. Yes, here, see? I suspect this is the core of it. There is the persistent trauma that you always seem to neglect to claim when you pass by, and you usually bring in something new, grudge of the day more or less, so this will probably be a bit off. And then there's this, Form 14E, Emotional Inventory Travel Log. It's not exhaustive, but it's the most comprehensive overview I could find. So, let's go through it and we can try for a rough estimate. Oh, wait. This is not 14E, it's 14D. E should be here somewhere.
Reminder: unattended resentment will be confiscated and quietly judged.
Ah, here it is. Yes, this is the one. Take a look. The columns across are emotion, date acquired, source, still needed, yes or no, and notes. That's, for example, recurring, misplaced, projected, and so on. You've been carrying this grudge since 2008. Perhaps it's time to let it go. Petty thing. Might still be part of a bigger pattern. Then we have multiple unresolved guilt items. Some are labeled minor, but clearly not. You were notified about this several times in dreams. You ignored the metaphors, which is why we are here today. And here, see? You've tried to stuff nostalgia into repression. That's not how either of those work. Have you recently tried to process any of this? Feel your feelings properly? Or did you just go for a walk again? You've mislabeled quite a bit. That's why your ledger is so messy. And it doesn't make my job any easier. Yes, even the ones labeled I'm fine. Especially those. Did you bring in any new emotional baggage today? vehicles have wheels or straps? And you checked it in when you arrived. Anything else? Was the sadness self-inflicted, or was it gifted from someone else? Yes, it affects the weight. We need to assess whether you're carrying more than the subconscious limit today, which for you is 1 carry-on trauma, 2 passive regrets, and 5 minor slights or sorrows. If you have any repressed memories, they'll need to be declared as well. Yes, you'll need a form for that. I don't think I have the right one on hand. Maybe this one will do. Form 19B. Abandonment Realization Acknowledgement. You can start filling that out. I have another list here. We have recovered some old emotions you abandoned in past dreams. Yes, we picked those up too. As I said, you can hide them from yourself, but not from us. We need to add these back in. It will count towards your total. So that's a debit or a credit, I don't know. Oh, there's actually just one here. Description reads: 1 small cracked resentment, faint odor of middle school humiliation. Alright, let me just recalibrate your effective totals against the interim remorse index.
Of the repressed memory labeled Summer Camp 1999. Please report to Lost and Profound.
Okay. And there seems to be a minor conflict in section C. Okay, here's what we can do. We can cross-reference your latent grief quotients with the adjusted IRF, internal resilience factor. No, that can't be right. Yeah, your Q4 sadness carryover from last year is bleeding into the OTFs again. That's the problem here. So, here's what we can do. We'll patch that under a temporary MER tag. And That should sort it for now. You are a frequent dreamer, and some dreams are long and vivid. All have a nice complexity. Yeah, you can work through some things in dreams, and you have done some dream work. So the bonus points you have acquired amounts to 38, and I need a calculator for this. 38 and 7, and then I can upgrade you. I think you qualify, just barely. And that's another 13, and 20% on reclaimed spaces, and that amounts to a deduction of 58, which still leaves you with an excess baggage of 93. And we cannot give you any more credit at this point. All maxed out, I'm afraid. We can store some of this until your next visit, but sooner or later you'll have to process all of it. No, you cannot simply offload everything here. This is a baggage claim. We are not will sorted so you don't have to carry it office, are we? But you might find it useful to visit the guilt reassessment desk after we're done here. Guilt is the most commonly incorrectly labeled baggage. The reassessment desk helps reroute it to the correct party, often a parental figure or inner critic. Then that can be deducted off of your total. They also do fragile item handling for heartbreaks and unresolved grief or trust issues too sensitive for standard claim procedures. And tell you what, if we take a look at the lost and profound, there might be something to alleviate the weight there as well. Something positive, yes, that can be reclaimed. Emotions you lost long ago, towards the end of childhood most likely, like awe, wonder and kindness to strangers. For clients who aren't quite ready to open certain memories, we can wrap them in a protective layer of abstraction. Makes them easier to carry. If we cross-reference this with your there are a few here, including an imaginary friend you seem to have forgotten about. I'll just add those in.
Tonight's mindfulness seminar has been canceled due to collective avoidance.
It's not enough, but it will help a bit. Every little bit counts. Now, let's see. What have we got here? Form 42S, Shame Inventory Summary Sheet. No, that's not the one. Form 77P, what's that? Form 77C, Carry On Forgiveness Request, and 99A, Full Emotional Release Authorization. That's not for you, not for a long time anyway. Passive Aggressive Audit Summary. Why is your suppression ledger here? It contains, among other things, a spreadsheet comparing the emotions you claim to have felt versus those actually observed in dreams. It is also used to track how many feelings you've buried and where you think you put them. I wonder if, if we go through all of this tonight, your total will be far too high, no matter what I try to do about it. Unresolved Emotions Carry Forward Sheet. This one can be helpful. We can do an emotional text carry forward. Anything not dealt with this year rolls into next year's emotional budget. That could get rid of a bit.
Someone's inner child has been abandoned in the waiting area. Please claim them at the information desk.
You've got one unresolved argument from 2016. Don't know if there's that much here. There is the list of perpetual grudges. They're small, but if we get rid of a handful, I compiled these from, well, whatever I could find. I had to pull them from so many places. Those that are part of a persistent pattern cannot be included in the carry forward. There should be a few on this list. Perhaps this one. Still mad at someone for liking your message but not replying. Marked as unresolved since 3:17 p.m. April 22nd. Emotional weight 0.4 units. And Here, refuses to forgive barista who once spelled your name confidently wrong. Point 28. Harbors resentment towards a childhood friend who once said they were faster at blinking. No competitive blinking event scheduled to resolve the issue. Point 01. This one is almost worthless. Why do you hold on to this stuff? Still offended that someone called your favorite movie fine in 2018. Filed under cultural invalidation events. Point 2. Has not emotionally released a monopoly loss from 2009. Point 37. Why is this filed under financial trauma? Your files are a mess. Deep suspicion towards a co-worker who once said, "Interesting choice about your lunch." Subjectively perceived as a full attack. 0.81 units. This one really bothered you, didn't it?
Reminder, the comfort zone is for short-term use only. Long-term loitering will result in stagnation.
Resentful that your plant died after you specifically asked it not to. Anthropomorphic expectation violation. Notes felt personal. I'm not going to count this one. You are still angry at yourself for waving back at someone who wasn't waving at you in 2011. Self-directed awkwardness loop recurs every 11 to 13 months. No, that won't do. You'll have to resolve this one properly. Alright, perhaps I should mention claims and requests you've made to us lately. The last time you were here, you filed 15 feelings reclassification requests. Most of them have been denied. A few are still being processed, but you tried to refile jealousy as concern and bitterness as boundary setting. I told you You can't fool us. If you want to throw something away, like a regret about the text you sent at 2 a.m., you need approval. You can't just do it on your own. There's always paperwork. No, I would not recommend sending in more claims and requests. You've already exceeded your complaint threshold for the quarter. Right now, according to subsection 9b of the Emotional Transport Guidelines, we do have to log any nostalgia-based weight fluctuations over 4.6 units. And that gives us 47. Wait, no, that's far too much. Let me just recalibrate your cognitive displacement ratio using the revised NAP scale. Which makes your emotional bandwidth .14, which is a pi-related dream metaphor. It doesn't matter. You can take that as an additional carry-on. Now, if we apply a low-friction overlay to your most prominent unresolved regret cluster, then we can authorize a new SOAR, that's a Sentimental Overspill Allocation Record. Your present one is marked as perpetually pending. That's fine. It happens more than you think. If you've cried in a parking lot recently, it's probably expired. What we can also try is a restructure of the grudge principle into a variable rate resentment account. That way the monthly emotional repayments stay manageable, even if the interest on passive aggression spikes seasonally. And if we convert your short-term pettiness into a fixed-term bitterness bond, you might just be able to make it within extended weight limits. Yes, it would spread the impact evenly over 5 to 7 dreams, rather than front-loading it all right now. You'll have to make an effort to bring less with you when you fall asleep for the next 5 to 7 weeks. A real effort, I mean. Maybe meditate before bed, or it will just accumulate again. I'd recommend rolling your small fragmented grudges. You still have quite a lot of those. I was only able to write off a few. I would recommend you to roll them into a consolidated resentment portfolio. One lump sum of generalized hostility is much easier to service emotionally than several niche vendettas. Right now, your regret load is tied to a high volatility nostalgia index. We could repackage those into a low risk melancholy certificate. Like this, see? That would free up bandwidth for minor irritations in Q3, and you do need to make room for those. They are inevitable. We can also offer a grace period on your unresolved conflicts. No interest charged for the first 30 days of avoidance. After that, though, the compounding rate can be significant. This is a postponement. Use it well. Do not compound any more emotional baggage. Alternatively, we can refinance all your disappointments into a hybrid arrangement. Half deferred to long-term storage, half reclassified as benign skepticism, much more sustainable long-term. Would you rather go for that one? Given your current carrying capacity, I would suggest the latter, yes. That way you'll never be caught completely off guard by a full emotional payment. Now, I can redo the final calculations, including all the suggested modifications, and you will have to wait for them to be approved or denied. These are just my attempts at helping you. I don't make the decisions. So, starting out with an excess of 93, applying the non-persistent grudges deduction, that's 0.4 plus 0.28 plus 0.37, 0.81, for a total deduction of 2.06. It's not a lot, is it? But I can give you the 12.5% offset for approved nostalgia restructuring, for a slightly more positive view of the past that you've developed lately, factoring in the quarterly pettiness amortization schedule and the variable remorse debate and seasonal irritation tax deferral. Yes, we can just about manage to compress that into an adjusted carryover of 14.3, then the dream work bonus points and reclaimed spaces 47, 20%, and GRT deducts 20% of 67.9, QAM 8%, amortization rate minus 5.4, RRB 5.3, rebate minus 3.3, subtotal 59.2, ITT 3.2, that's good, I suppose. Referral minus 1.9, adjusted 57.3, PAR add-on plus 8.7 for a new total of 22.8 excess weight. So, you're still above the threshold. Much more manageable though. If we take a look at this week's offers and penalties, we might get you processed tonight. Let's start with the penalties first.
Reminder, feelings labeled "I'm fine" must still go through security.
You can pick a 1 out of 3. It will be active until your next reassessment. So we have the mandatory polite delay. All responses to casual questions will be delayed by 3 to 5 seconds, as if buffering. And the occasional unexplained sighs. A sigh will escape at least 7 times a day, whether you feel like sighing or not. And then there's the dream character rumors. Recurring dream characters may be quietly informed that you are under emotional review, which you are. Which one do you prefer? Alright. Offers. There are conditions for these offers. You need to show us that you are willing to put in the work to improve. So this week we have daily journaling sessions, pre-sleep meditation credits, or a digital detox agreement. Yes, every day. You cannot miss a single one until your next reassessment. I don't know. There's a lot of people on the waiting list. Since you seem to have a very limited self-insight, judging by the amount of mislabeled feelings, I would recommend the journaling sessions for you. Okay, good. Where's my pen? Ah. 1 penalty and 1 offer agreement, rather, compensates for your reduced excess emotional baggage. This time, here's your receipt with your new total. Please note that the passive aggression contingency reserve remains active, and an additional build-up before your next assessment will trigger an automatic recalibration fee. There, all done. Now I'll send this in straight away, and you can just go and wait over there for your recalibrated emotional baggage to be processed. I don't know how long it will take. There's really nothing more I can do for you right now. We have a sparkling clean waiting area right over there. Yes, all the OC dreamers keep cleaning it while they wait. Go on now. You might have all night, but I don't. Next,